Once Solomon became king, he pushed the city up the hill so that he built the temple on the very top.
So with these layers of history, you've got the original Jebusite city that David captured. He expands that city to the point where it becomes Mount Zion, the city of David. But then Solomon takes it to a whole new level, and the city grows to the point where he has to continue moving up toward Mount Moriah.
That's right. He wanted to put the temple as high as he could in the city to give proper reverence to God.
The splendor of Solomon's temple was world-renowned from biblical accounts. We don't have that temple remaining. That was destroyed millennia ago. King Herod built the second temple. That's not even standing anymore. So when people talk about how do we know there was a Solomon? How do we know that he actually built anything? What's left?
I think we need to talk to people who are authorities on the matter. There have been some things found, and I think what's really interesting is how those things were found. Within recent years, there's a project that's been going on in Jerusalem in which they've been able to go through a lot of rubble that's been found underneath the Temple Mount. The lead archaeologist, Dr. Barkay, lives here in Jerusalem, and I think it'd be beneficial if we went and talked to him and see what we can learn from him.
In 1999, as a result of certain political developments, there was a criminal act taking place. I would call it an archaeological crime. A gigantic pit was dug without any scholarly supervision in the southeastern part of Temple Mount under the excuse of an emergency exit. They removed approximately 400 truckloads of earth. That earth was dumped in the Kidron Valley. From there, we moved the soil here. This is the place where the first stage of sifting took place.
How did you know that the earth had been moved from the Temple Mount?
We have eyewitnesses that followed the trucks and came there. The second way of proving it is via the internal contents of the soil. For example, we have several thousands of gilded wall mosaic tesserae which once decorated the Dome of the Rock. They could come only from the Temple Mount. We have even a seal of the Islamic Trust of the Temple Mount.
Dr. Barkay was able to take us down and explain that they currently process not only the fill that was brought over from the Temple Mount, but they also process and sift material from all sorts of archaeological sites around Israel.
This is the place where the larger stones are removed from the contents of the soil. This is done like this.
I see.
Every one bucket goes in here,
Yes.
and it is subdivided into 3/3. The rest of the space in the bucket is taken by the water.
Okay.
1/3 soil, 2/3 water.
How long does it soak?
Several hours.
Several hours.
As you know, there are people that question whether the first kings of Israel were historical figures or legendary, and whether there's anything that we can tie to that period of time. And it sounds like that you have found some incredible things.
Listen, I'm a Jerusalemite for the last 68 years. I was not around some 3,000 years ago, so I cannot testify for David living here or being here. On the other hand, if I read the scriptures well, there are so many things there which seem to be a reality. I'm dealing with archaeology, I'm dealing with material culture. Solomon built an official compound made up of the king's palace, the construction of which took 13 years. There was the house of the forest of Lebanon, the house of Pharaoh's daughters, there was the great court, there was the other court, there was the house of the Lord. All that becomes alive when we sift through the material originating in the Temple Mount. We have abundance of pottery. We have a plethora of other finds from First Temple period. The period cannot be denied.
Yeah.
Again, I was not an eyewitness.
Right.
I didn't meet them personally, but meeting the material culture of their time and meeting the texts, I have the feeling as if I shook their hands.
I'm Craig.
And I'm Stu, and we're the founders of Appian Media.
We really hope that you've enjoyed the content that you've just seen. This was only made available through the generous donations of so many of you.
We believe that the world should have biblically accurate, visually engaging content about the Bible, and it should be free for everyone.
We would encourage you to visit the membership page of appianmedia.org and consider becoming a reoccurring member. Everything that you donate to Appian Media is tax deductible.
However you decide to donate, we really appreciate your support.